when you're 20-something, you drink anything as long as it's in front of you or it's on sale or something like that.
Well, obviously, but I think it's an example of like, you ain't gonna tell me what to do. Like, I didn't steal it, Mom. You know what I mean? I'm just like, motherfucker look like...
That should sound like a Def Jam joke. Because this dude died on a Palatine. That's crazy. It's hilarious. Not hilarious. Well, it is hilarious. Probably protesting and complaining. Is that a category on Pornhub?
The Perfect Talk Podcast with my brother DJ Playboy and my guy Keith. Lock in.
What's the deal, Playboy? Huh?
What's good, Josh? Your man DJ Playboy back with another episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast. Right back at you, man. And we do no episodes, not none, without my dog, my man, my partner.
Girl, scream like I'm Keith.
2021, brother. How you doing, man?
What's happening? Keith 3000 in the building. Full effect. Doing it all day. Check your neck. What it is, man? How you feeling?
Another year in the books, man. I'm ready to, end this thing off right, go into the holidays, proper, start the new year. I'm excited for the new year. I was thinking about it. And usually I have some type of weird, anxiety about the year to come. Like, you don't know what's going to bring, blah, blah, blah. But I'm kind of excited to go into this one.
Why are you usually anxious about New Year's, and then what's so different about this one?
I think the anxiety comes from I like to make, resolutions and big goals. And maybe just the pressure, you put a little pressure on myself. All right, now it's real now, just you said you was going to work out. You got to do it now. Like, you spoke yourself into this position. So I think it's a little bit of that. And just, just changing my mind frame from thinking negatively to thinking more positive. But yeah, no, in terms of this, but this was a good year. Like, I had a lot of big goals that I wanted to accomplish this year. Like, a big one was finding a different job. Just for, I one, needed a change of scenery, and two, I wanted my daughter here full time, because my other goal was I wanted her grandparents to just be able to just be grandparents. You know what I mean? And instead of having her, throughout the course of the week, splitting the week with me. So I was able to accomplish both of those. And that was great for me, you know what I mean? So it's like, I guess now I'm looking at next year like, yo, bring it on, you know what I mean? Like, let's get this.
Definitely, man. That's a good look.
It's funny though with the daughter thing. Is like I definitely, because what would happen is she spend half the week with me, half the week over there, and when it's time for her to go over there, she'd be all like, nah, I don't want to go, or, I just want to stay here, I just want to chill, I just want to kick it. And it'd be like she'd have this like resentment, when I would drop her off about going over there. So I was like, nah, that's not what it's supposed to be like when you're visiting grandma. It's supposed to be, you about to get spoiled for the weekend, you about to, have a good time. And now it's like that. Like, she's excited. She's talking about like middle of the week. I can't wait till Friday to go da da da. And I'm like jealous now. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, you like it over there better, right? They treat you better over there. So it's like, nah. It's funny. Like, you gotta be, it's one of those, be careful what you wish for. You know what I mean? Or be ready to steward whatever you know what I mean. Bring into manifest into your life, because it's funny, but it's good though, because it's exactly what it should be now. Like, she's going over there to be spoiled, to have a fun weekend, you know what I mean? So I totally get it now.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, man.
And our grandparents must enjoy that too. Like, just having that real grandparent feel of it's just a visit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, the discipline don't gotta be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just put everything in a better. I feel like I put the universe back the way it should be. You know what I'm saying? Like, got the Infinity Stones and put shit back together. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it was, but it's funny now. They call and like, she want to like have a full blown conversation with her. I'm like, this is my phone. What do you like? I had plans. I had something I wanted to do with my phone. I don't want to be a dick, but it's like, come on, man. But it was funny too, because it was something that happened about a week or two ago with my daughter. Like, that it was weird. I was walking to the bus stop and she had ran into her friend, but she was mad about something that happened in the crib, and as opposed to her like, I don't know, just brushing it off and then moving on with her day, she was being mean to her friend, and I ain't like it. Like, I was like, I had to nip. I was like, this is something I got to nip in the bud, and I was like, all right, what could I do to nip in the bud? And for some reason, my mind just went to like what she's watching on TV, and it's like, well, she's 7 now, and I've always given her a good amount of freedom of what she could watch, And like I monitor over it. I make sure it's not inappropriate, but for the most part, I make sure it's kid programming, if that makes sense. That was my criteria. Kid programming.
Right. So no Narcos, but
exactly, pretty much. What's the shit on Netflix? The cartoon Big Mouth or whatever. Yeah, no crazy shit like that. But like it was like, what's it called? I really had to evaluate, and for some reason I went to the TV program and I'm like, yo, we kind of just trust because it's Disney Channel, because it's Nickelodeon, because it's you know what I mean, one of these television entities that make stuff for children that is necessarily positive programming. It's like there's certain shit like some show called Rainbow High where it's like it's a cartoon and it's not inappropriate. It's not nothing wrong with it, but it's like themes that I don't at 6 and 7 years old, you know what I mean? I don't really think she should be watching a cartoon where people are dating each other and stuff like that. Maybe I'm just old school like that, you know what I mean? So I'm like, you kind of just have this like blind trust. I guess like back when I was a kid, I would look at like kind of like, oh, I can eat this. Like they wouldn't sell this in a store if it wasn't safe for me to eat. You know what I'm saying? If this thing could cause me harm, they wouldn't. There's like a funnel process in which it's got to go through an approval rating and in order for it to hit the streets, and that's not true. And it's like that with television programming. It's like, so I really just had to like, all right, boom, I'm cutting everything off. You're not watching nothing except for like, I was like, there's one show called Sid the Science Kid because it's educational. and I was like, yo, we gonna, because at least I know if it's educational, it's what the main focus is, you know what I'm saying? And I know there's a positive coming out of it. Anyways, I kind of like limit her to that, and then I was like,
all right, watch out, like, man. Because one day you're going to see there's an episode on Sid got to check his white privilege and as a cisgender white male. Is Sid white, by the way? I don't know. I'm just assuming.
You ever seen the show, Sid the Science Kid? You know what I'm talking about?
I never seen the show. He said it like, you never seen that shit? As if it's like Breaking Bad or something like that.
Nah, it's funny. I think his mom's is because they're yellow. They're like the Simpsons kind of color. They like Bert and Ernie kind of like that kind of. They're not like actual race, but his mom got black features, but his dad got definitely like white features. Like he got like a Jew fro and everything. It's just like so I don't know if he's mixed. I don't know what the case may be. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever they trying to do on there. I don't know, but the point being is like I really had to check. I don't know. Like I really had to like, I bet. I don't know. You know what it made me really do as a parent? I guess the words I'm looking for is I had to reevaluate my parenting and be like, yo, I know I've been doing this for a certain amount of time, but now let's reset. Let's hard reset, matter of fact. Let's take everything off, clear the table, clear the slate, and let's start with this, and then we'll figure out where we're going to go from here.
How do you funnel it just to that? Like, would you, like, does she, like, not have the remote, or you would put it on, stream it?
Yeah, because kids don't watch television like we watch television. Like they don't really know what channels are. So it's not like they're watching a show and then the next show comes on. You know what I mean? She's asking. Yeah, she does have the remotes and I let her use the remote, but her door is open and I can hear what she's listening to. But she has to ask me if she wants to watch a different app. Like if she wants to get off Netflix and go on PBS Kids, you know, she asks. Or if she wants to go on Disney Plus, she asks. So it's fairly easy to control it in that respect.
Okay.
But it's just, cool, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Like I said, you know, like at the worst, she'll be extra smart. She'll be nerdy. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like, I just don't want this like, because you'll be a TV show and it'll be an innocent show, right? It's not nothing that kids can't watch, but there's kids being mean to each other. There's kids, you know what I'm saying shit. Like even I limit her to cartoons because what she'll do is she started watching some of the, like, I guess the older preteen type shows. Mm-hmm. Because there's kids in it, and she would emulate their behavior in a way that I'm like, yeah, that's cute. If this was a television show and you drop a one-liner, you say that to somebody, an adult, they're gonna think you're being rude. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but she did. You know, you got to grasp the difference between drama and reality, which, you know, at 6, 7 years old, you know, I could tell how that could be difficult.
So you know, what's funny is that when the coyote or the coyote gets squashed with an anvil, it's gory. I guess nowadays we would use terms like it's gory and it promotes violence and stuff like that. But then you think about it and then you're like, is it that bad? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you see certain things on TV, because I think nowadays with the heightened like social awareness that we try to put that in all forms of media, and not every family is ready to enter that level of social awareness. They just kind of want to do goofy, mindless stuff like squash a coyote with an anvil.
Mm-hmm. And parents is busy. You know what I mean? They don't got the time to really sit there and be like, all right, this is appropriate, this is not appropriate. You know what I mean? Like, it's what did Patrice O'Neal say? Like, appropriate, that don't even seem like a male word. So my house is like, yeah, like it's kind of was like that. It was like, hey, watch it, hey, that's cool. You know what I mean? You could chill, but then it was like, nah, you got to pull this back a little bit. Like,
I guess because of just the amount of programming, like it's hard to police it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So probably just as busy as it used to be years ago, but it's like now there's just more stuff you have to watch out for, and a different kind of stuff you got to watch out for.
Yeah. It's cool, man. Getting older is I was gonna ask you how's little man doing, because I know, you know, this is 2021 year in review. This is the year that you had your first kid. So how's little man doing for you?
Oh, he's straight, man. He's just chilling. You know, baby stuff. I ain't gonna make it more than it actually is. Eating and stuff, and he ain't crawling yet, but he's trying. Like, he's getting on his knees and stuff like that. He's not moving forward. So, you know, all the usual stuff. Really cool to see him grow and stuff like that. So
I worded that weird. I was like, how's little man working for you? How's this thing working out? You gonna keep him around? Keep him on paper.
How's it going, man? You sticking with it?
Nah, that's cool though. Yeah, I know it changes you, man. It's weird now too. And I don't know if this has anything to do with parenting, but like, I feel like I lost my New York City apathy. I think that's the right word. Where you just don't give a fuck about certain shit. You could just kind of move past it emotionally. Like you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of you ingrained in you from New York City for survival purposes. Like, sometimes you got to be able to just put the blinders on and walk past shit. And I seen 2 examples this week where I'm just like, I think I lost it. Because I'm like, what was the first one? I was at the gas station and my neighbor was I see my neighbor. But she was talking to a lady, and she was emotional. I could see she was emotional, and I ain't really want to like sit there and stare and be caught, you know, look. Yeah, like, you ever, like, I don't know, you wouldn't want someone to see you crying, right, Keith?
Right.
Like, I imagine. So, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if I was somewhere and I just got, I don't know, like punched in the face, or I'm crying about something, I would hope if someone I knew was around, they just walk by like they pretend like they didn't see it. So I was trying to kind of give that same respect, but then I couldn't really decipher like what was happening in the conversation, if this lady was asking her for money or she was I couldn't tell. So while I'm trying to like figure out what's going on, I pulled off. I peeled off, and then something inside of me was just like, go back. You know what I mean? Like, circle back around, see, you know what I mean, and just see if you can help the situation. Like, see, you know what I mean? You don't know like what's going on. See if maybe she needed $5 or she needed da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? So I did. Cause something inside of me just I couldn't just go home. I don't know. I couldn't. So I circled back around, and by the time I came back, I guess she had figured everything out, and she peeled off. And I had seen her later, and I was like, oh, I seen you at the gas station. You know what I mean? I wanted to make sure everything was cool. Da da da. And yeah, she had just told me like she had ran out of gas, and her mom's had showed up and helped out, and she was feeling overwhelmed. And I'm just like, yeah, you know what I mean? But it was that happened a couple days ago. And then yesterday, my neighbor was locked out, and I had pulled up to the crib, because sometimes I stop at the crib for lunch, and I had pulled up to the crib, and she's outside, and she's like, she runs right up to my window, and I'm like, oh boy. She's like, yo, can I use your phone? I gotta call the landlord. I'm locked out. I call him. He's like, I got my kid with me. I don't got my car seat though, so I wouldn't be able to get there till 2. Yada yada yada. So, you know, I'm like, I'm trying to help her open windows. Everything's jammed up, and I'm like, I gotta get back to work. So I had to, got to go run upstairs real quick. You know what I mean? So I go upstairs, I do my thing, and as I'm chilling upstairs, I'm getting my little lunch. I'm like, I'm gonna have to let her in the crib, bro. Like, I just, something inside of me ain't gonna be able to just walk right past her and just be like, all right, have a good day. And I'm like, damn, I'm gonna have to just let her just post up in the crib. And I did. I was just like, yo, if you need to, I told her, I was like, yo, you need the crib. I'm like, if you, and like, if you know how people at first when you offer them things, they be like, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean? Because they just don't want to seem like overly thirst. So at first, she hit me with that at first, and then like a few minutes later, I was like, yo, you sure? Like I could just leave the door unlocked if you want to. If you could kick it out here, but if you get cold, you got that the ability to come in here. And she's like, yeah, you know, why not? And I was just like, I felt good. You know what I mean? I felt like for some reason I would have felt like shit, honestly, in those two situations if I didn't go out my way to really do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Captain Save a Neighbor, man. That's cool. Save the world out here.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, I've been out the city too long, I guess, man. You got any big goals set up for 2022? Are you a resolution guy? Are you like a resolution guy?
Nah, I'm not a big resolutions guy, but you know, I do fall into the whole thing of trying to work out at the beginning of the year. But nah, I'll be honest with you, I don't do big resolutions. I might do small ones, like let me try to get into the gym 3-4 days a week for the first 4 months, and then I'll see where it goes from there. Or you know, try to do mini resolutions and do it throughout the year. This for the summer, I'm trying to get blank done. So I guess like this year, 2021, I got a crib, a kid. Well, the kid wasn't really a resolution that was baked in, but I don't really be having resolutions. I just try to set me up some little short-term goals, hit those, feel the little adrenaline rush from doing that, and then move on to the next thing.
I hear you, man. You feel like you hit your goals in 21?
Yeah, for the most part. I think the big one was getting the crib. And that was pretty much it. It was just getting the crib, and then everything else was.
That's a big one.
It was a big one. I would say the fitness thing was kind of tough. The pandemic, because it's like I feel like I need to go to the gym to go hard. I mean, of course you could do it at home or run around the block and stuff like that, but you know it's hard to replace the gym. And I would go to the gym, but every time I go in there, I would just feel like, oh, this is gross, bro. I gotta. You just get these quick three bench presses in and just bounce, man. I see the COVID in this bitch. I still go to the gym. Yeah, I still go to the gym. I mean, that's it. And every now and then I probably try to mix it up with some stuff at home. So I might do like some piece of a home workout at home, then go into the gym for a little bit. But I wouldn't be there as long. So, you know, whereas before I might be able to spend like an hour and a half in the gym solid. I might try to max out at maybe 45 minutes in the gym.
Well, you're in a real gym now, though.
Yeah,
because you used to do it in your building. You used to have it in your building where it was limited.
Right. Well, in my building, though, when COVID hit, the building gym is only like, if I was to estimate, maybe like 15 feet by 10 or 15 feet long. So it ain't that big.
Tight.
So yeah, it's tight. So as soon as one other person gets in there, you just see the green COVID floating through the air. So I would prefer to be in a bigger gym with more people because you got more square footage per person.
Yeah, no, I 100% get it. Yeah, I haven't made that leap quite yet. I was thinking about it. I was like, bet I could probably, you know what I mean, some mornings get up in there because I think the joint's 24 hours again, the Planet Fitness out here. But I was just like, I got to prove it to myself first. If I got to first wake up at early in the morning and start doing some home workouts, and then at that point, I'd be like, all right, bet. I'll spend the money to go, you know what I mean, get a gym membership. And I'm like, if you ain't waking up now to do it in the crib, you ain't going to wake up and hop in your car. Like, word. You know what I mean? I got to prove it to myself first. So it's like, all right, we'll see what we can do. But I'm trying to get back on it. That's definitely something I want to do, man. It's hard, bro. Parenting and working out is, and then now I'm on this new schedule that, you know what I mean, half the year I was on the night shift, and now the second half of the year I was on the day shift, and the nigga get tired around like 9-10 o'clock is a wall, bro. 9-10 o'clock is a wall, man. And me and Sho be recording at that time a lot of sessions, so it's like, man, I got a Red Bull up, I got a coffee up or something just to make it through.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so, I mean, if there's anything, I'd probably try to get my sleeping habits all right. You know, I hear about people doing, like, really successful people or really busy people, parents, whatever. Like, they figure out a way to get a bunch of shit done. So I feel like I have a lot to work towards as far as like trying to set my life up in a way. You know what I'm saying? Having a sleeping routine, cutting down on bad foods, eating better foods, working out. just kind of treat my body right so I could be more effective.
Yeah, I'm gonna get back on it, man. We got to, man. But shit, what happened in the past couple of weeks, man? We have you know what? I just heard this last night. Your boy Kyrie coming back.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming. I don't. What is the Nets record? Are the Nets hurting?
Nah, not at all.
Like, I did not see that coming.
They hurting as far as personnel goes, because I mean, for some reason, you know, one reason or other, whether it's Omarion or whatever, like the COVID is just outbreaking everywhere in every part of society. So it's a for real thing. Like over here, the school district saw a spike in COVID cases, so they started making the kids in the high school go hybrid. New York City,
3 cases at my job.
That's crazy.
3 cases at my job.
Yeah, man.
What do you think that's because of?
My booster.
What do you think that spike is because of? Is it like a rise because of a lack of, I guess people aren't as diligent as we were maybe a year ago in terms of masking up, in terms of sanitizing, in terms of, you know what I mean, being around crowds of people. I don't see nobody keeping 6 feet no more.
Right. I don't know, man. Well, we came out of the holiday, right? Thanksgiving.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
We like 3 weeks out from that. Yeah, maybe people not masking up, people traveling during that Thanksgiving break. Yeah, but after Thanksgiving and shit just, you know, slowly started creeping up. You know, people are like, oh, it's a little uptick. But then, like, it's that kept going up and up and up, and now we're here. So now you look at basketball, to go back to the Kyrie thing. I forgot how many people the Nets got out because of COVID, but they need some personnel, and also I think their stars are getting, you know, some wear and tear. They're worried about that, so they need some help. So he's just going to play on the road, but he's not going to play at home. But you see that shit everywhere. The NFL, like they said, like over a third of the Cleveland Browns starters is on COVID protocol.
The Chicago Bulls had to reschedule 2 games, 10 players.
Crazy.
It's scary, man, and we seen that with the Omicron when it had first dropped. You know, people they shut South Africa down. They was like, yo, they shut it down. Like they was like, nah, we can't do this. I remember that day the stocks was low as hell. It was like a sale. It was like a sale on stocks, bro. It was nuts, but it was just crazy. That was Black Friday, matter of fact, and that was since then, it's been some scary shit going on. It's crazy with the South Africa thing that they shut down all travel from South Africa. Though I thought that was a little wild. There was a few reasons because of that. Because it's like you're gonna punish South Africa for reporting it. You know what I mean? Like that's not gonna incentivize other countries to, you know what I mean, want to report when a new strain comes out.
Word. Yeah. And it's almost like we owe them, like the world community owes them for finding that shit, and it most likely didn't even start there. So the Omicron,
it's great, and the Omicron shit is a funny shit. It ain't supposed to be called Omicron. Like that ain't the next shit after this. It's supposed to be the what is it? The Greek alphabet. What's the fraternity shit? That's Greek, right?
Yeah. What's
like
the fraternity shit?
Delta.
It's not supposed to be Omicron. It's supposed to be Alpha Kappa Alpha.
Omicron don't come after Delta. I don't know much about the alphabet. I know Omicron don't come after Delta. It's supposed to be some. It was Nu. I think was the next one. Nu. And they were like, we can't call it Nu because that's gonna confuse people when the next strain comes out and you still referring to this shit as Nu. So then I think the next shit was like, I don't like. It's like. Whatever, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think it's the name of the Chinese, like the dude that's running shit in China is like pretty much really similar to his name. Mm-hmm. So they was like, we don't want to call it that, because now we putting it back on China. We just got this off of China. Now we putting it back on China. So then they went to the O, and then decided we just gonna punish South Africa because of it.
Crazy.
Which is but it's you said it, like COVID's spreading throughout all the leagues. You seen your man LeBron was out for a little bit, right? With I think on COVID protocol.
Yeah.
No, it's superstars, everybody, man. And it's crazy because like I think I seen they're gonna change the testing to being more frequently now. Like they gotta ramp shit up. Shit is getting crazy. You mentioned it, and I didn't mean to cut you off. You got the booster recently.
Yeah.
How would that go? Because I know the next day I was like, damn, Keith menstrual in these streets. You know what I mean? But how was the next day, the day after?
Yeah, like I spoke to a few people who got it, and they were just telling all these horror stories. Like, yeah, I was laid up. It was worse than when I got the second shot. And honestly, it was exactly how I felt when I got the second shot. And I don't know because of the distance of time. I was fully vaccinated by like late April. This is December, so that's about 8 months. So this shot was just like when I got the second shot. I got a little headache. I was really worn down. I was just like really tired. Like I just didn't feel like getting up. You know what I'm saying? So like very dull body aches. So almost like when you were recovering from like the last day before you recover from a flu, like just mild but annoying symptoms where you just don't feel like doing nothing. And that's kind of how it was.
Yeah, nah. And then I seen something yesterday that the CDC recommends Moderna and Pfizer over to Johnson & Johnson for the booster. So I was like, damn, I gotta get down with one of these teams now, which is whatever. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I'm like,
you gonna do the booster? I mean, I don't know if I'm violating your HIPAA here on right on the airwaves.
I do plan on doing it. I wasn't sure, you know what I mean? And I'm glad that I was actually happy that you did it because I was like, should I get it now? I got it back in April. Like, when is the dead? Like, should I have gotten it already? Like, am I out here really thinking I'm covered, like protected, but I'm really out here raw dogging it? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right. I guess I got it. And then my daughter's grandmother, she's like, every day she's hitting me like, yo, I keep hearing about these kids getting sick. Like, are you gonna get her the vaccine? I'm like, nah. I felt like she was violating HIPAA. Yeah. I was like, hey, whoa, hey, easy, easy. You don't just ask a black man about his vaccination status. You know what I mean?
So I was pounding my wife, right? And
you know what I mean? Fucking my wife in the ass. No, but yeah. So I don't know, but the plan is to get us both immunized, a la Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about the vaccine for kids? Because when they opened it up, we got a vaccine center in my town, and it's weird to say that shit, right? To talk that suburban. In my town, there's a vaccine center up the street, but there is. And once they opened up they approved it, like, man, people was bringing their kids in. I'll be honest with you, like, I was surprised. Like, I don't have to face that decision, but I was just surprised at how many people just said, yeah, my kid needs this, I trust it, and all that type of stuff. So I was just curious, like, how would you make that decision that, oh, well, your daughter's going to get vaccinated?
Well, so DJ Playboy's thing in life, right? And I think maybe this applies to those same people you saw. Anything, new iPhone, new PlayStation, new MacBook. Give it a couple weeks. Let them work the kinks out. Let's see the recall status. You know what I mean? Give it a couple weeks. Same thing with the vaccination, man. I ain't gonna be first online. Yeah. I ain't trying. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? My iPhone 12 worked good. You know what I'm saying? Get the job done. So we chilling. You know what I mean? She beat it before. You know what I'm saying? She handled it like a G before, so you know what I mean. We gonna take these couple weeks and let them work the kinks. And I haven't heard nothing negative. And all jokes aside, I think Dr. Sanjay Gupta was on the Breakfast Club, and he said that usually within the first 3 to 4 weeks, if there is an issue, a mass reaction to a vaccine of some sort, you would usually see it within the first 3 to 4 weeks. And I haven't seen anything like that. Actually, the only negative story I saw was there was a facility that was giving a smaller dosage of the adult dose to kids because they ran out, which I think is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
That's crazy. In America? They
definitely should be. Yeah, I forgot what town it was, but yeah, some lady caught it because I don't know how she knew, but she could tell by the top that was on it. That was the adult kind, and that I don't know if someone told her what the other color was for the kids, and she realized that they was giving her kid just a smaller dose of the adult one, and she blew the whistle on it. Yeah. But that was the only negative story I heard. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much you can. I mean, but then I have seen things on Instagram like my daughter got sick after getting that, which is gonna happen, right? I think that's actually they go into it knowing that, right? There are gonna be people that this might not react well to. You know what I mean? Like, and that's anything, right? Like I could give you a weed brownie and you could be tweaking and I could be all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I could be chilling and vice versa. So, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, you kind of gotta weigh the options. And I respect everybody. You know, do you? I can't tell. This is one of those things in life where, I wouldn't tell anyone how to live their life anyway. But I wouldn't dare think about telling people what they should and shouldn't do. Even when I hear some vaccine commercials, I'm kind of like, it's a little weird. Like, even though I'm not an anti-vaxxer, I'm like I said, I'm vaccinated myself. It's just weird to hear the marketing behind it, right? Maybe it's the same way I look at alcohol and like cigarettes, right? Like I don't know. Like, I'm 100 days clean on alcohol. I haven't drank alcohol. Not that I'm planning on never drinking again, but I just been on this little journey, whatever I've been doing. So I just hit 100 days. No alcohol, and it shows me how much they advertise alcohol, because I was like, sometimes I just want to drink. Like, yeah. I'll even, like, I'll break my neck at the liquor store sometimes, 'cause I'm just used to going there so much, and I'm like, am I just programmed? Is it just because I watch a lot of ESPN and every third commercial is a Corona commercial or a fucking Hennessy commercial or something? You know what I'm saying? Is it just because of that? I don't know. And it's the same thing with, like, you know, cigarettes. Like, we'd be literally, like, if it wasn't a whistleblower back in the day, those commercials that we see now for anti-nicotine, those would be Camel and Marlboro commercials. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know if we necessarily should be like marketing what people should be doing. But I think, you know, you put the information in places where people can get it. Now, I think they're well aware that people aren't always going to go to places to find information. Some people get all their information from clickbait and things like that. And that's why I guess they feel like they got to market to that crowd. It just gives me a weird vibe, though.
Yeah.
Shit. What else has been going on in the news, man? Oh, damn, that the Michigan school shooting. That one got a little crazy, because I remember when it happened. I think we were gonna record that weekend, and I don't even know if I was gonna include it in, you know what I'm saying, the show, because we kind of are desensitized to school shootings now, right? Like, we give it an attention for the day. Then we move on. Right, that's just where society's at now. I still remember being in a sneaker store during Columbine and seeing the footage. You know what I'm saying? So it's like of kids running and from the helicopter. You know, the helicopter shooting, like, looking down at them from the sky and just seeing kids running, man. And like, we don't cover it the same way. But this one got weird because the parent, like, this is one of, I don't know if it's the first time, but it's one of the first times I'm hearing, like, the parents actually, like, yo, well, y'all, you know what I mean? Well, can y'all be held responsible for this? And as I look more into the story, come to find out, you know, the young man was drawing pictures, was making posts, was doing things of concern to the point that the school contacted his parents and were like, yo, this is a little concerning. What's going on here? He's talking about he might, you know, want to hurt people. The thoughts won't stop, I believe, were one of the illustrations. So it was getting a little weird. And the parents were kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, thank you for your help. We're going to go back to what we've been doing. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, let him go back to school. His name is Ethan Crumley, by the way. Let him go back to school. Or I guess didn't take him out of school that day. And mom even texted him something like, you know what I mean? Like, basically, like, don't be so open about it. You know what I mean? Like, because I think his teacher called him searching for ammunition. And that's what first had started the contacting of the parents. And his mom kind of texted him something like, yeah, you know what I mean? Keep it on the low, basically. Come to find out, Black Friday, they bought him a gun. The week before, they bought him a gun. They're posting pictures on social media, basically implying it's his gun, early Christmas present. He's posting things saying he got a new gun. And your man went to school and killed, I think the number went up to 4, right? 4 of his classmates, and injured about like 15 other people. Yeah. And it didn't kill himself, you know what I mean? Was actually arrested. And it was just one of those things where it's like, yo, it could have been prevented. Like, why were y'all giving this kid this much freedom with a gun? Why are you giving 14 years old, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Oh, 15, excuse me. 15 years old. Why would you, you know what I mean? Like, that's nutty. I wouldn't even give like an 18-year-old like mad freedom with a, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's some 20-year-olds I wouldn't give freedom with a gun. Like, why would you think that's cool? You know what I'm saying? And just as an example of, I think it was really an example, and I don't know these people obviously, but I think it's an example of like, you ain't gonna tell me what to do. And it came back to backfire on them because then they was like, yo, they might try to hold us responsible for this. Mother texted, don't do it after the fact when they heard there was a shooting at the school. Father went looking for his gun after he heard there was a shooting at the school and then contacted police like, yo, I think my son might be involved in this. But then a few days later, when I think they realized the heat was coming towards them because of the investigation, they took off. And they said like they were in a warehouse in Detroit and they were found there by police after a manhunt. And they tried to front like they wasn't running away. They were like, yo, we feared for our safety. We had to get out of here. But I don't know if police are buying that or not. And they were arrested. They were taken into custody. Now, I was like I said, one of the first times I think I've ever seen parents being taken in after a school shooting.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of fascinating and frightening facts about this thing. With the parents' part is extremely fascinating. And what's really fascinating is that the parents secured lawyers or a lawyer, and they didn't secure one for the kid. Now, the story of it probably sounds like, damn, parents is foul. But let's be honest, like, lawyers ain't cheap. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to make an executive decision. And let's say they say, all right, you know.
Also, they're trying to separate themselves. They're trying to like on some Diddy and Shine shit.
Right.
drop a Nas lyric right here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So did they do that as a? Is it confirmed? I guess as a strategy, or was it like a resources thing?
No, I would imagine so. But I think at that point they kind of realized, yo, I mean, he's dead to rights on he ain't getting out of this.
Yeah.
Like we gotta like.
Ain't that crazy? Ain't that a crazy combo? Not that you could just sit down at the kitchen table and talk about it as parents, because this is unusual. But like, you got to have that conversation. Like, yo.
I think they went into strategy mode as soon as they heard there was, because they already knew the school had called them. They already knew that they probably got funny. You know what I mean? Funny with the school. Like, yo, you ain't gonna tell me what to do with my kid. You know what I mean? They probably got a little snarky, and they was like, yo. You know what I mean? I think as soon as they heard this shit happen, they was like, yo, let's sit at the table. Let's play chess. Yep. We gotta figure this out.
Yeah, what's the guy's name? Ethan? Like, yo, Ethan. Yeah, he has a long life ahead of him.
We'll visit Ethan.
Yeah,
the niggas is funny. Like, yo, they was like, yo, that's Ethan's gun. We gonna separate ourselves from that.
Yeah,
like that is not our shit.
Yeah,
I don't even know how he got it.
Yeah, we love you, Ethan. You know, in 25 years, you won't even be 40 yet. So
you got this. You gonna ride for the family, dog.
Yeah.
Nah, they wild.
Yeah, that story is crazy sad.
And I kind of think, and you know what I mean? I guess I won't make the statement. I was going to say I kind of think a lot of parents should have been prosecuted before, but I guess not all parents were just negligent. Like, their kid went out and got, you know what I mean, weapons with other means sometimes, or stole their weapons, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I mean? Because they took advantage or they knew where a key was at or some shit like that. But, nah, like, yeah. I think now it's gonna make parents be a little bit more like, yo, let me lock my shit up. Let me make, you know what I mean? Let me make sure this kid ain't got no access to it, don't know no security codes, no nothing, because now they coming after parents, which is what you should, like, I feel like they should have been doing.
Yeah, I'll say that, you know, in cases like this, like, even though a large part of it is like to send a signal, I think it sends a good signal and makes people more accountable for stuff that's happening in their house, especially when they get a whiff of it. It's like, all right, you got to step up and act now, because to not act is a crime. Like, it's not just about doing something. Like, if you do something illegal, it's also if you don't do something that you can be held accountable for it. And I think that's a really important thing. So, man, this whole thing is just super sad. Like, I think about it from a broader parenting perspective. It's just like, damn, you have a lot of work to do, but ultimately it's your responsibility. But I mean, I see a lot of parents work really hard, and their kids turn out really messed up. I mean, you know, I don't know another way to put that. So it's like, what do you do? Like, you know, Charles and Amy over there, they're doing all the right things. That kid is going to be amazing. And, you know, he grows up and this dude's the largest drug pusher in Saskatoon County, somewhere out in middle America. And how do you predict something like that? You know what I'm saying? So
you can't. Like, so I feel like you're raising human beings, right? And I think as I'm getting older, Adele said this in an interview I heard recently. It's like you were giving your parents shit as you were growing up, and then you realize like, yo, this shit's fucking hard. This shit, there's no guidebook, there's no rule book, and some parents, you know, tap out. Some parents try their hardest and they kids still can't. You know what I mean? I heard this kid cursing out his grown, like, you know, like he was a kid, but he was grown, cursing out his mom in the supermarket. Like, I didn't steal it, Mom. You know what I mean? I'm just like, motherfucker look like.
That should sound like a Def Jam joke. I saw this little kid in the market one day and he said, Mom, I want the fucking Cheerios. It's a good Def Jam setup.
But when I was like, I'm trying not to stare at him, but I'm interested. I'm like, shit, he looked like he stole something too. I'm just like, yo, this motherfucker. But it's like, yeah, you try your hardest, but sometimes your kids just come out fucked up. And sometimes parents don't try at all, and the kid comes out fucked up. And this is one of the few examples in life where we actually seen it being held accountable for it, man. But I do want to say rest in peace to the victims: Madison Baldwin, Tate Meyer, Hannah St. Julia, and Justin Schilling, man, ages 14, 16, and 17, man. That's so sad. And also, like, not the people that died, but the people that were shot, the people that were injured. Because I think a lot of times, like, we forget that. We remember the deaths, but we don't always remember. Like, it's people whose lives has changed because they got shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, forever. Like even that, whether a bullet hit you or not. And especially the ones that are injured by it. Like, they got physical on top of the emotional. So I definitely have thoughts out to them.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about just the space that a schoolhouse or school building occupies in our society, it's one of the safest places you can imagine. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, not safe in the sense of, if somebody comes attacks, then, you know, no one will be harmed, in the sense of, like, we send people here, like, you become a teacher, you're like, man, I don't want to deal with no bullshit. I don't want to be a cop. I don't want to be a nurse and, you know, get poked with a needle or something. I'm going to go be a teacher. Like, that's a nice, safe, calm job. You know, you parents send their kids to school, like, yeah, I feel better with my kid at school than I do at home because they're not going to go knocking down vases and stuff. But like in this day and age with shit like this. And then also this week I think it was on TikTok or somewhere on social media, they had like rumors of, this day, like December, you know, let's say December 16th or December 17th is the day that there's going to be a bunch of school shootings across the country. And schools have to take it seriously because parents are anxious about it and up security and stuff like that. So, like, man, the world we live in, like, is like, is there less and less safe spaces? You can't talk in certain spaces. You can't say certain things. You can't be a flawed person. You can't send your kid to school. It's insane.
Yeah, when you said the comment just now is like the safest place, I caught a chill through my body because I get this anxiety every day when because this is the first year I'm just trusting my kid, right, to go to school. Like, you know, I'm trusting the bus driver sober. I'm trusting that there's no drunk drivers are going to come crash into the bus. You know what I'm saying? I'm trusting that people in school are going to be protective of all the students and not just they caught up in their world, so they're not paying attention to something happening in the corner. You know what I mean? Like, so much, the level of trust is not one that I'm necessarily naturally comfortable with. So it's an adjustment for me. And you said it right there, and I'm like, yo, and my heart goes out to the parents. Any parent, whether their kid was hurt or not, especially the ones where their kid was hurt. But you know how scary that is, just to know that happened around your kid. Like, you know, it's. And I had thought about the comment I made about how we remember the people that died, as we should, but I don't even hear some mention sometimes because of the other victims that were injured, because I seen it with the Travis Scott and Alex Baldwin recent interviews where you know Travis Scott, which nothing against Travis Scott, I ain't trying to crucify Travis Scott here, but he was so emotional in the interview that he's like, yo, you know, my thoughts and prayers are with the victims who passed. And, you know, he said that several times. And I'm like thinking in my head, like, yo, mad people got injured at that shit too. Like, you know what I mean? I imagine they're listening to this interview like, well, what about us? You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, that like the shit ain't all roses for us too. Like, motherfuckers got trampled, motherfuckers. You know what I mean? I assume had to have some bad injuries. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, yo, we got to remember the other victims that got injured. Like in the Alec Baldwin situation, like a lady did die, but didn't the other dude get shot in his chest too, or whatever, or shot also? So so it's like, with those two situations, I bring that up. Because I thought it was a little weird. Like, I think is that the new defense nowadays, to like literally like, I guess, Tory Lanez it and just drop your own album basically talking about the situation before you are held in the court of law to try to win that court of public opinion? Because I found it very strange that both Alec Baldwin and Travis Scott did sit down interviews to talk about something that is still pending, right?
Yeah, well, you know, they were trained like crazy. They got about like 50 publicists and 50 attorneys behind them, so and they agent there.
I think Alec was trained. Alec was trained good. I think Travis Scott went rogue. I heard his lawyer was like, I did not advise him to do this. You know what I mean? Like it kind of that we didn't have a conversation, like saying that he should do this.
That's funny. The lawyer's probably like, yo, you fucking up my bag right now. People gonna think you out there in them Hollywood streets gonna think I told you to do this.
My man went on CNN and said that. He was like, yo, I did not tell him to do that.
Yeah.
He like, nah, man. But Alec definitely seemed trained. Alec was like very thoughtful with his words. Alec was, you know what I mean? He definitely was. He was very thoughtful with his words to say, I did not pull the trigger, right? But you know what I mean? He didn't. So basically, to say the fault really wasn't in that the gun was shot. The fault was in why was there a live bullet in there? Kind of, I guess.
You're right. Yeah, and you know, just kind of true. I mean, not that I know what happens on a set. I don't want to say it's true or not. Somebody died, but what the fuck? Like you on a movie set, you know, people got toy guns, quote unquote toy guns. He's probably shot a movie set gun before, and he's like, you know, somebody says, yeah, it's cool, and then you do it, and then all right, now you cut and you go take a break, sit in your trailer, but this time the shit fired a round into a person. It's crazy.
Nigga, if me and you was on, like, let's say we was on a movie set and it was a Western, you telling me we ain't gonna be spinning the gun on our finger, doing mad funny shit when we ain't shooting? Word. Be having fun. I wouldn't think that it's gonna kill somebody. So I'd be in there like bugging the fuck out. I did have a nigga dying doing that though. He's playing Russian roulette, and I believe it was blanks in it, but I don't know why he was doing that, and he put it to his head and the shit actually killed him.
That's insane.
Yeah. But I was very shocked on both parts. I can see how definitely in Travis Scott's situation. I know where Travis is coming from, I guess, where it's just like he's hurting, right, in some type of way, shape, or form. Because I think Travis Scott seems very smart, and it was weird because it was one of the first times I've ever heard Travis Scott talk. I've listened to his music, but I never like heard his voice like really in interviews and talking like that, because I don't really follow outside of the music. I don't really follow much about it, but I get the vibe that Travis Scott is a very calculated young man, right? Like, there's something about him, right? I can't tell you why Travis Scott is popping right now and Rich Homie Quan from a couple years ago isn't, right? I think they both kind of do the same type of thing, but I think Travis Scott, if I was going to take a guess, engages with his fans on another level, right? That seems to be how you take it to the next spectrum nowadays. Like, you got to engage with your fans. You got to make them feel like they're part of a movement. And I think he knows that part of his marketing, part of his branding might be what caused this. You know what I mean? Like, it was a I don't give a fuck, let's party attitude instead of I'm going to look out for my fellow man attitude. And I think he partially feels responsible for that. And I think, you know, like, that could come back to hurt people, because you doing an interview about it, I don't know why he did it, but it comes across as if you're trying to heal your own pain. But that could be causing pain, because, you know what I mean, if you know that your family was a victim member in some way, shape, or form, you're probably going to look at that, and just hearing him talk about it can cause pain, whether he intentional or not. So I definitely could see it happening. I could even see it backfiring on Alec. You know what I mean? Maybe something he just said in the heat of the moment, like, can be used against him in a court of law. And it's like, yo, you don't want to, like, you know what I mean? Like, chill. But I also know how hard it is nowadays. Maybe social media amplifies it, where you probably feel like you got to speak out.
Yeah, definitely. Especially as that public narrative starts forming and you don't got no say in it, so you probably feel the need to say, yo, man, this is how it really went, and from your perspective.
Yeah, man, definitely crazy situation. And both and rest in peace to the victims of Astroworld. Definitely thoughts and prayers to anyone injured. Rest in peace to the victim of the tragedy on the Rust movie set. And thoughts and prayers definitely with the young man that was injured as well. Man, we gotta switch things up right now, Keith. We got a heavy bag, you know what I'm saying, of shit that happened in the past couple of weeks. So I gotta know. We gotta end the year off right, bro. Have you heard?
Keep connected.
I got a question. Now the question I ask you is how bad you want to know that.
You know what I mean? I hear headlines. I bring them to the table. I want to know if my man Keith has heard. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that we end the year off right, that we squeeze every drop of the news. You know what I'm saying? We get every drop out, bro. Nancy Reagan style. You know what I mean? Like, so I want to know first things up. Have you heard Nancy Reagan was the original superhead, dog?
Man, what? Nah, I have not heard that, man.
Man, Nancy Reagan got pulled into the Madonna 50 Cent, I guess, back and forth social media beef when somebody trying to slut shame Madonna was, kind of did a comparison side by side of what Nancy Reagan was like at Madonna's age and what Madonna's acting like at Madonna's age. And I think Madonna's a fucking genius, first of all. Like, if you an old ass lady that could just put some pantyhose on and take a picture underneath a bed and you could cause this much social, props to you. Yeah. Props to you, man. I don't like, shout out. I don't everybody hating. Madonna apparently knows how to use social media better than I do. So, like, you know what I mean? Shouts to her. But it caused someone tried to basically slut shame her using Nancy Reagan as an example, which made someone pull up an old biography of Nancy Reagan, which had a excerpt that revealed that Nancy Reagan was very popular for performing oral sex. Made her popular on the MGM studios. Not only did it during the night, but also in the offices. More power. And they said this probably made her very popular with Ron as well. Which I like. Shout out to Nancy Reagan as well. Like, it ain't nothing to be ashamed of. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you? Well, I don't know why it was happening in the offices. You know what I mean? But I wasn't there. You know what I mean? I wasn't there. You know what I mean? So
what was her position?
I can't judge it.
She's still working Hollywood, right?
I did not know that before this whole thing came to light. I knew her as being Ronald Reagan's wife.
Right.
But she was a film actress. Yeah, exactly. But she was an actress at some point, so maybe that's how she got her parts. She was reverse Weinstein.
Yeah, I don't want to touch that one, but I will say a similar rumor was circulating about Martha Washington. Like, fuck with you. That's crazy.
That is, but also it's like, I don't know, like, anyone could just say anything, right? Like, what do we have to back this up? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we could just, she's dead, right? Is Nancy Reagan dead? Yeah, she's dead, right?
Yes.
I'm assuming she's dead. Yeah.
Not that long ago.
So, okay. Yeah. So it's like, she can't defend herself. Her family's not going to want to touch this to defend it. You know what I mean? It's not like the other side is bringing out, like, you got motherfucking, I don't know, actor from back in the day. What's the nigga named Clint Eastwood being like, oh yeah, this bitch was sucking mad dick, bro. You know what I mean? Like, no, anyone could just make anything up. It's like, come on.
But that would be crazy if that did come out.
If Clint Eastwood. I think we just got to get to a point where we just like, all right, women have sex. Like, women are sexual creatures. Women might enjoy it more than we do. Like, right. they you know what I mean? Like, it's to me, it's an antiquated view, you know what I'm saying? Especially this year, like, I discovered a lot of, like, podcasts that were hosted by women that were very, for lack of a better word, like, sexually free. Women weren't talking about, like, things as if they're going to be slut-shamed for it. They were embracing what they've done. And right. I think it's, like, for us to be, like, still on that old, like, oh, my God, she's sucking dick. Like, it's like, come on, dude.
Yep. Best quote of today. Oh my God, she's sucking dick.
Which I guess is a smooth segue to our next Have You Heard. Keith, the Pornhub 2021 top searches list has dropped.
Whoa, I was looking out for it. I haven't heard, but I'm glad I heard it now. Let me look that up.
Keith, the top search term for 2021. I'm gonna put this in multiple choice form. Do you think it was MILF? Do you think it was Asian? Big yes for Asians. Do you think it was anal, or do you think it was hentai?
2021.
MILF, Asian, anal, or hentai?
Yeah, I would. MILF?
MILF came in fourth. MILF came in fourth. Second in that list that I just gave you. But the number one term of 2021 was hentai.
Huh. Now, what is that?
That is the cartoon, almost like Japanimation, I guess, for lack of a better term, form of porn. Which is weird because this is like a top 15, like the top 15 of all the term search. And at the bottom of that list is anime. So it was like hentai came in one, but anime, rounded out that list. But basically the top 10 were hentai, Japanese, lesbian, MILF, Panay, which I'm not familiar with. What the hell is Panay? Pinay. Asian, stepmom, anal, ebony, big ass, and then massage, threesome, and anime came after that. Threesome, damn. Threesome low on that list. Let's see what else went down. The top gaining category, man. This is the one that rose the most in 2021. Let's see, Keith. Let's give you another multiple choice. Do you think it's orgy? Do you think it's solo female? Do you think it's big ass? Or do you think it's transgender? Transgenders had a big year in the news, so, maybe people took that to Pornhub, who knows? You know what I mean? Orgies are always popular.
I'm gonna pass on that one, Alex, for fear of getting canceled or some shit. What was the answer?
Yeah, which one? What's your choice? It's the number one top gaining category was big ass, rose 314%.
Huh.
Number two was bisexual male, that jumped 288%.
Huh. Oh, look what 2021 bring. Okay.
Yeah. Category viewed the longest, mature, viewed an average of 14 minutes and 58 seconds. You dedicating a whole 15 minutes to one porno? You are dedicated, bro.
Tell them how it's done, Plucker. tell them what the number should be.
Yo, I feel like, what's crazy? And I've heard like other people talking about this. It's like, I don't know. There's so many choices. I feel like it's kind of weird to just dedicate your energy to one. But apparently, mature is bringing it home.
Well, I mean,
solo female.
As far as that choice thing, it's interesting. So, like for instance, beer, right? Like beer, people, when you're 20-something, you drink anything as long as it's in front of you or it's on sale or something like that. But then you find your thing, or liquor in general, you find your thing, right? And you just stick with it. So, the fact that someone sticks to one particular preference, I'm not surprised by that, especially if they're older.
Yeah. Categories viewed the shortest was another category, right? But I don't know if that's because people disliked it or maybe they just finished. So that maybe these are really good or really bad, but
that'll be an interesting study.
Scissoring came in number one. Reality, cosplay, which is when they dress up like, I don't know, characters from The Incredibles or Fortnite or something and have sex. Virtual reality, fingering, and redhead, which is weird that redhead would be, I don't know. Thought redhead would be more popular, but like I said, I don't know. Maybe these are popular. They are the shortest because people just reach completion. Keith, what do you think the top category for the Gen Z 18 to 24 division is? If you had to pick, if you had to just take a guess.
If you just take a guess,
Just take a guess. 18 to 24.
18 to 24, probably protesting and complaining. Is that a category on Pornhub?
It's not, but they are really big into the lesbian category. Gen Y. We just left Gen Y apparently. It says 25 to 34. Top category. Asian. Let's see. You're not going to get this one. This is our category, but I'll still have you guess. What do you think 35 to 54? That's a long range too, 35 to 54. But it was a surprise for me what the top one was. If you had to take a guess?
Probably some old shit like the search term, something like flannel pajamas. Some shit like that.
No, actually it's cartoon, which I found to be kind of strange. Cartoon. And then baby boomers, 55 plus, which this one actually made a little bit of sense to me. Number 1, hand job. Number 2, mature. And number 3, vintage. Number 4, casting, which all seems like old nigga shit. Like mature and vintage right in the middle there.
Yeah.
Oh man, let's see what else they got here. They break it down by state. New York, the top term is a foot job. Florida, top term is a BBC.
Meth. Ah, shit. My guess was methamphetamines.
Meth. Texas, top term is a thick Latina. It kind of makes sense. Asian, number 1 in California. I can see that. Yeah, what state is that? What's right above California? What's that? Washington?
What's
JOI?
Huh.
Jerk off instructional.
Just in case the listeners didn't know.
They got one state here. They top term is penis pump. Another one is furry. They're into the furries. Yeah, man. Shout out to Pornhub for dropping this, man.
Yeah, definitely. We just our listeners learned so much from that segment. Go out there and become better people.
Oh man, Keith, have you heard Elon Musk was named Times Person of the Year?
That I did hear, mostly because he was clapping at Elizabeth Warren.
Was he? What'd he say?
Damn, nigga, you ain't hear that news? Yeah, basically, Elizabeth Warren was like, oh, man, like, pretty much, how you gonna pick a billionaire? Like, you know, there's so many people you could pick. You pick a billionaire who pays less taxes than whatever. And Elon Musk replied to it. He was like, something like, I'm going to pay more taxes than any American in history. And I don't know if she said something. Then he called her a Karen because she's just like complaining. Basically saying, man, you just being a Karen. You complaining. A brother getting put on, you want to sit on the sidelines complaining. So the shit was called a Senator Karen. And, you know, if you're a liberal person, a liberal white, you know, left person, then that shit is offensive. But like, no, I'm not, a Karen. But so that was funny. I don't think anything came of it, but it was a nice little light moment in the week.
Yo, that'd be hilarious. She'd be like, I can't be a Karen. I'm Native American.
Word, that would be gangster. That would be gangster.
Elon Musk, like, I'm African American. What are you
talking about?
I can call you that. Nah, I was kind of confused though that he got it. I was like, what'd he do? Like the motherfucker like made the stock market kind of wild with the Dogecoin shit. Like I'm not an Elon hater. You know what I mean? I like Elon Musk. I thought his SNL performance was pretty cool. But I don't know. I thought person of the year, that was kind of like, I feel like Bezos and fucking Richard Branson, like, he ain't even make it to space. Like, yo, we out here taking pictures. Like, this nigga ain't even make it to space.
Oh, he didn't make it to space with his joint?
I don't think he was in it.
That's crazy.
Like, yeah, I think he flew something to space, but they flew to space, didn't they? Didn't Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson actually go out there?
I wonder to what extent the people. Well, he should be a Times Person of the Year, but not this year. Elon Musk.
Yeah.
But I wonder to what extent they said, all right, when you look at all our covers, like you Wikipedia Time Person of the Year covers, and it's 19 whatever through whatever year in 2050. When they look at 2021 and say Elon Musk 2021, they Google it. I wonder if it's worth the Google if Time looks at it in that way versus what the things he accomplished, because he was significant this year. But I feel as if Person of the Year, this is a good Taylor Swift awards moment where you be like, nah, Jeff Bezos had the best year ever or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, that's what it kind of. I don't know, man. It's nutty out here, man. Keith, have you heard? Your man Chris Cuomo. I guess when I first wrote this down, he was only suspended, but now it's been upgraded that he's gotten fully fired, right, from CNN for violating his journalistic integrity, trying to help his brother out.
You said upgraded like it was an injury, like you've been upgraded from questionable to the injury reserve. Yeah, Chris Cuomo, man. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, because I think it was fascinating looking at how he was kind of. It's like a boxer who has a pretty decent defense, and he's going up against the hardest, quickest, most skillful striker in the game. And Chris Cuomo was just kind of dodging them blows from George Foreman and by that I mean his brother got knocked. He not knocked, but he got he had so much that he had to resign. Looks like what's the dude's name? Andrew Cuomo was going to avoid all the hubbub and hoopla, but he couldn't. The pressure was too much, and he had to resign. Then they saw the text from Chris Cuomo that basically he was helping out, but people like, nah, whatever. And then the sexual harassment thing came out about Chris Cuomo from I think a coworker at ABC, but still nothing really came of it. But then this hit with the joint. I think the attorney general from New York put out some kind of thing where basically her investigation found that he helped in a significant way. Then the pressure came on, and then that ABC thing came back again. Then that was the killer blow. It was like, all right, CNN had to be like, all right, man, this is just too much. You almost got by, but this one, So it was quite a ride for him. Chris Cuomo did his thing. I don't know what I can't speak to how well he did as a journalist, but just as far as he hung on as long as he could. He's hanging on a cliff by his fingertips. And, eventually he had to fall. He gave up his Sirius XM show also.
Was that through CNN or nah?
Nah, I believe that was his own thing with Sirius. Because even after CNN sort of suspended him, he still put out a couple episodes after that.
Ooh. Yeah, that's crazy how when they cancel you, bro. They take you might have a deal in the works, you might have something going on, they just full blown cancel you, man. The shit is nutty. Man, I think that was kind of.
I heard on his last day he played Regulators by Warren G and Nate Dogg. They took my show. They took my Rolex. I looked at Jeff Zucker. I said, "Damn, what's next?"
They about to take that bridge. They about to change that shit back to Tappan Z. They're like, "Fuck y'all, fuck the whole family, bro." Yo, that bridge is dope. You been on it? the old Tappan
Mario Cuomo.
Yeah, shit just look like Disney World. Shit bright. I drove in it for the first. It was always under construction for years.
Yeah, Andrew Cuomo also did, I think, the Kosciuszko Bridge joint in Brooklyn and Queens. That shit look dope, too. I think it's a similar vibe. I mean, I only saw pictures of the Tappan Zee or the Mario Cuomo Bridge, but I don't be driving upstate. And when I do, I don't drive across that bridge.
He said, "I don't hang out in general admission. I take the fucking. I pay the toll, nigga." Nah, Keith, have you heard your man Jussie Smollett was found guilty, as I think a lot of people thought would happen. But have you heard that Black Lives Matter, the organization, said they stand with Jussie?
Oh no. you know what that's like is like it's like when Jerry Jones, the Dallas Cowboys owner, when like he makes these big money investments in people, and then when they turn out to be really mediocre, he sticks with them. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like, nah, I gotta ride this out because I can't look wrong on this. Like I'm sticking to my guns, and I don't see how if your Black Lives Matter, how this could further your cause. The only thing I would say is that sometimes, you know, when you have somebody who's great at something and you put them in a really challenging position to prove how great they are, like you're like, wow, they seriously are the best ever. Like Tom Brady, the dude changed teams and won the Super Bowl like right away. I think this is I feel as if this is what that chapter of Black Lives Matter is doing. They're like, all right, y'all want to see us work? All right, here we go. Boom.
It's not. I'll read the statement. In our commitment to abolition, we can never believe police, especially the Chicago Police Department, over Jussie Smollett, a black man who has been courageously present, visible, and vocal in the struggle for black freedom. Black Lives Matter will continue to work towards the abolition of police and every unjust system. We will continue to love and protect one another and wrap our arms around those who do the work to usher in black freedom and, by extension, freedom for everyone else. Bro, like, Black Lives Matter, definitely a dope movement, but like the organization is like, why would you like, I don't know, bro. That's just like a head scratcher. Like, why would you even want to attach yourself to that? It wasn't even necessary. Like, you could have just been like, yo, Jussie, we got you, bro. Like, why would you have to make a public statement like that just makes your cause sound like nutty now? Like, my man faked a hate crime. Like, and then we had a whole like trial about it, like wasted taxpayer money on this whole shit.
Word, man. And by the way, and pretty much what's the word? Like sandbag 2 Africans in the process.
Yeah, like pretty much like, and then it feel like his defense in this whole thing was like, yo, I'm just gonna make this other dude, one of the African brothers, I'm just gonna like basically out him as gay, you know what I'm saying, and tell about our relationship, and hopefully, you know what I mean, he'll want to back up off his, like, bro, like, what are you doing here? Like, everything here is just wild, bro. Like I don't know, like, but I feel like BLM, the organization, once again, I separate the two. I believe in the movement. I believe that Black Lives Matter, and that I, you know, hope and pray that police will think about black lives before, you know, like unjustly murdering or injuring a black person, you know, while trying to arrest them. However, the organization does some stuff that's just like nutty, bro.
Yeah. Don't they work in chapters like like local chapters, not like a national organization making these types of statements? It might be like the Chicago branch or something like that. That shows how out of tune I am, but yeah, I think it's like that.
And this is the Los Angeles division that made that statement, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's I don't even know what to really say to that, man. Keith, I know you're a fan of HBO, so have you heard of the HBO effect, man? Apparently on Sex and the City, Mr. Biggs, spoiler alert for anybody who watches the show, he dies in the first episode while using a Peloton.
Whoa!
And then the Peloton.
Spoiler. And then the Peloton City.
And then the Peloton stock actually dropped significantly after that happened. Yeah, have you heard?
You know what's funny? I heard about it in the context of the stock dropping, because I don't care for Sex and the City, to be honest with you. I'm a dude. I'm a black dude.
I didn't even think it was still popular like that. It just came back, but I didn't think it would even like resonate like that. That's crazy.
Well, you know it's going to resonate with loyalists and this ton, like people who banged with Sex and the City the first time. I mean, look, Jay-Z had that lyric in the song, "She Give Me Carrie Fever," right? And I had no idea what he was talking about. Like, zero idea until like 10 years later when he said that lyric that they be watching Sex and the City. I'm like, how I looked back and I'm like, how the fuck Jay-Z know? Like, he's a closet Sex and the City fan, and that's cool. Like, I didn't know. I thought he was talking about "She Give Me Curry Fever." I thought he was talking, and I swear to God, like he was saying that like a curry so spicy that the dude just be sweating. I'm like, oh, this nigga Jay-Z is fire. He be coming up with some next lines. But I was completely
Is Curry
wrong.
Fever a term from the show, or is that just mean like just I'm geeked for the show?
Probably, yeah. It sounds like maybe just fanfare. Like, oh, you watching Sex and the City? Like, I don't know. Or Carrie had some form of influenza, some shit like that. I don't know. But yeah, I was listening to one of my stock podcasts and they were talking about the stock drop because this dude died on a Peloton. That's crazy. It's hilarious. Not hilarious. Well, it is hilarious. Like a character on the show gets a heart attack on a bike and the stock drops.
So did you see what Peloton did to combat that?
Nah, I did not see that.
Okay, Peloton went out and hired I think one of the GOATs, man. My man Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool himself. I didn't know this, but he has his own like marketing firm. And they was like, yo, Ryan, we need your help, man. We need your help. And he went out, you know what I mean? Hired Mr. Big to be in a commercial for Peloton. Basically, like, he's like having a romantic affair with one of the Peloton instructors. And Ryan Reynolds' voice comes in at the end and, you know, just speaks about the health benefits of cardiovascular exercise and then ends it with like, yeah, he's still alive. So they try to play it off as if he faked his death pretty much, kind of to leave Carrie and go have an affair with a Peloton model. And, you know, use the comedic styling of Ryan Reynolds at the process, which I think is genius. Which, you know, like they use it to their... I don't know if they were aware what was going to happen on the show, like if HBO has to tell them what they're going to do with their product on it, or if they even had approval on it, but they was definitely ready when this happened.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't have, you know, if I worked for Peloton, I couldn't imagine something like that happening. Like, what's the worst that could happen with a stationary bike? Oh, well, they put it in a scene with some crazy, like a character based on Jeffrey Epstein or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder if some nigga was like, "Oh, yeah, hell yeah, we want to be in the Sex and the City premiere," not even realizing he thinking like Carrie gonna be working out on it and shit. Right. Not even realizing they making the stock drop.
The worst that could happen with it in your mind, in your imagination, is that, oh well, they don't use it; they just be hanging clothes and shit on it.
Yeah. They was like, oh shit, we gotta bounce back. But no, definitely excellent way. And shout out to the dude, Mr. Big, because he got paid to be in the episode and he got paid to be in the commercial. So he came out. I think he's the true winner in all this.
Hell yeah.
And Keith, before we get up out of here, man, I gotta know what your thoughts are on this thing right here, man. Have you heard another GOAT, your man Deion Sanders? You know what I mean? He brought the thought GOAT, Brittany Renner, to his speak to his team, basically, and let them know about the game behind the game, what goes on between males and females in the sports industry. Do you think that's genius? Do you think it was silly, or do you think it was just a clever marketing ploy?
On whose part? I think it's genius for Brittany Renner. As far as Deion Sanders, like from a football organization standpoint of that school, is at Jackson State. I think it's all right because, you know, she has incredible standing in her industry, which is, I guess, social media influencing. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of the perception of her out there, like, she's prominent. She's a prominent figure. So I think it makes sense. It's a genius to bring her in. It's not genius. It's just like, oh, well, here goes somebody we could hire. We have the budget for it. Let's bring her in. And I think she has the ability. I didn't see her whole speech, but I think she has the ability to teach people about that stuff. Like, if people start hitting you up on social media or just hitting you up in general, be aware of it. And I think she has some credibility in that area. She's incredibly wildly beautiful, and I think it could be, I don't want to call it a distraction in this day and age, but you know what, I'll call it a distraction. Like, it's 18-year-olds, this is 17, 18, 19-year-olds in that room. Oh, this is fucking Brittany Renner, yo.
In short shorts.
Yeah.
But to the point of it being a marketing employee, he actually signed a top recruit this week. One of the, you know what I mean? And I think when it's becoming a popular sentiment nowadays to be like a top athlete and be like, yo, I'm gonna go to HBCU. I'm not going to Duke. I'm not going to Kentucky. I'm not going to Alabama. I'm not going to Miami. I'm gonna go to HBCU. And you know what I mean? Like, let's make this popular, start a new trend. And I think when in football, Deion's become that like popular choice now. You know what I mean? With Jackson State, I wasn't talking about Jackson State years ago. You know what I mean? So it definitely. And I think what he said if he would have had the same advice, he would have pocketed. He would have held on to an extra $20 million of his riches had he had this advice at their age. How true that is, I don't know, but I think it's definitely another. It's another aspect to it. I don't think there was anything nefarious behind what he was doing. I think he definitely just has a different way of doing things, and I think like one of the things schools should teach us is how to manage money, how to have a balance a checking account, how to know about compound interest in terms of your credit card. So Deion telling them this is along those same lines of how not to lose your money in a divorce case, how not to lose your money because of a paternity suit. You know what I mean? And know that there are girls with that hope and mission in mind. Tristan Thompson, you know what I mean? I don't want to say and judge the guy, but he's going through it right now because maybe with this advice, he would have made better choices. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. And as far as marketing, I think Deion Sanders is a walking marketing machine. Not that he's doing it for that purpose, but you know what? It's doing a lot of good, like recruiting top talent to his school, which is an HBCU. And it's only a good thing because now people have eyeballs on Jackson State. They are looking at other HBCUs also, fans, television channels, all that stuff. They're looking at HBCUs now, and it's a good thing. Even look at J.R. Smith at NCA&T. He plays golf, varsity golf for them, and that puts eyeballs on them. So like shit like that is awesome. I think Stephen Curry put a bunch of money into the Howard golf program. So just even looking at black golfers, that's all that stuff is awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a dope time for definitely the HBCUs. And shout out to Brittany. I think that she can take that on the road. She can go to multiple colleges and make boatload of money doing that. And you know what? Like I think a lot of people, and I don't subscribe to this, but a lot of people want to judge people for taking pictures scantily clad or for doing certain things online. She ain't got to take off no clothes. She ain't got to shake no ass. She just get to go and talk. And I think you got to give props to that.
Word.
Keith, that's another year in the books, brother. Yo, it's been a blessing to be your friend all these years. And definitely to do this podcast for another year with you has been an honor, man. So thank you for that, brother. Where can the good people out here find you at on social media?
Instagram, emo_35.
Man, you can find your boy DJ Playboy on Instagram at Plickapeezy, PLICCAPEEZY. Also, check out Perfect Talk Podcast at Perfect Talk Radio right there on Instagram. Every episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast is available at www.perfecttalkpodcast.com. Got every episode of this podcast. The podcast I do with my brother DJ show called Money Talks Radio. And the night shift, night shift coming back in 2022. So look out for that also. Also, you can check us out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio. But wherever you do check us out at, please leave a review, and just let us know how you feel, man. And I want to thank all the listeners out there that have been rocking with us, whether you're day one, whether you just got down with the team. Thank you for rocking out with us. We do this for y'all. We're going to keep doing it, man, on a bigger and better level for years to come. Keith, I know you doing a lot nowadays. You know what I mean? It's the end of the year. It's the holidays. You wrapping it up. You chilling, relaxing. You had a couple weeks off. What are you watching on television right now, bro?
You know what? It's less about what I'm watching and what I listened to these past couple days.
Okay.
And it's Drink Champs. Now, I won't lie to you. I'm not like a regular listener, but I had to tune into the Kanye shit. And the reason I tuned into the Kanye shit, I've been knew about it. I knew he was getting spicy, but it was because what he said about Big Sean, and Big Sean joining Drink Champs a couple episodes after Kanye did.
Yeah.
And Kanye gets spicy on this shit. I don't know if you listen to it, bro. That dude is just, the way he talk about dudes he used to rock with is bizarre. But it's mad entertaining. Like they're like who they're like basically a this or that game. Pick one. They said Common or Talib. He said Common, and essentially calling Talib trash. Not just Common is nice. You know what I'm saying? He from the Shy and he lyrical style and blah blah blah. He says, yo, this dude Talib crazy. Just Blaze copied off me, all types of shit. Big Sean, biggest mistake I signing him, shit like that. I'm like, God damn, Kanye.
Yeah. Do you think it was Kanye being Kanye, knowing that it was going to hit headlines, or do you think he was genuinely just expressing how he felt, or was the alcohol hitting? They were drinking, right? I'm assuming
they were drinking. I think he was trying to be sensational. People in the room was soaking it up. That's the feeling I got. I don't know. You can never know what's in the guy's heart, but the feeling I got was, what it's like. It's like you start cracking on a dude, right? You just how dudes normally crack on each other, but all of a sudden, some girl that everybody like just happens to walk by, and your cracking starts getting a little bit louder so she can hear it. You don't know that you're doing it. You don't intend on doing it, but something inside of you says, "Yo, I gotta roast this guy. Sacrifice him to the gods of roasting so that I could get this person's attention." Right? Like if you would have asked somebody, do you want to roast someone until somebody walking by likes you? Of course not. That's fucked up. Like that's not, a real man don't do shit like that. But in the moment you're like, yeah, haha, look at your shoes, nigga. I said, look at your shoes. Right? And that's kind of what it was like, because everybody in the room gets you amped up. They got all the sound machines and all that stuff when something spicy is said. So I feel like there was an element in that. So it was just like, hey, who you like better? He said something like Swizz or Just Blaze. He said Swizz, because Just Blaze, I mean, look at that nigga. He just copied my whole shit. I made the first half of the blueprint and all. So, but it was entertaining. I won't lie to you. Like, so my next, I just finished the Kanye joint. Won't lie to you. I skipped around it because, with the baby, I just don't got the time. It's like a 2-hour episode. Yeah. And my next joint is to listen to Big Sean.
Drink Champs was one of the first long form podcasts that I ever listened to, and it was I think the Amber Rose episode was the first one I ever listened to. But shout out to Drink Champs, man. And at the time I wasn't into I like long form ones now. Now I kind of rock out to an average hour and a half, 2-hour podcast. But I remember when Drink Champs, they were taking bathroom breaks and shit, and I'm like, what the hell? Yeah. I was like, yo, this shit's crazy. But no, shout out to, I think it's crazy that Nori got a big podcast with Drink Champs, and DJ FN, and then Joe Budden got one, and it's crazy. These dudes are rappers that we listened to growing up. They're not even thinking about rapping now because they just killing it in the podcast game. So shout out to them. Shout out to podcasts, man. Like I said, podcast space is beautiful right now. I feel like I could just wake up in the morning and hear anything I want to hear. The sky's the limit. Educational, hear some chicks talking about sex, hear some people just talking about life, just anything, bro. So I think it's beautiful, and I like where we're at in the world and where we're moving forward, man. Yo, Keith, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, man. End the year off right, show some love, kiss up on that family of yours, man. Spread love to your parents, everybody out there, man, and we just gonna keep doing this big for next year, bro. Say goodbye to the people, man.
Peace.
Peace.